Welcome to today's practicals. It is about the biochemistry practicals of estimation of reducing sugar by HJ method. So estimation of amount of reducing sugar can be determined in three methods which we have discussed earlier. One is of the DNS method, now the second method HJ method. In the next video, we will be discussing about the estimation of amount of reducing sugar using Samogis method. So now let us observe the solutions required to carry out the estimation of amount of reducing sugar through HJ method. First, we need a working solution which is a 10 ml of the stock solution given to you by an external examiner. Next, we need distilled water, potassium ferricyanide solution, 5% acetic acid solution, zinc sulfate, potassium iodide, sodium chloride mixture of solution, 1% starch indicator, N by 40 sodium thiosulfate solution. These are the solutions required for the experiment. You will be given a 10 ml of stock solution in a 100 ml standard flask. So to this flask you will be adding distilled water to make up the solution for 100 ml. Next, using the copper potassium ferricyanide solution, you are going to react the distilled water solution along with the reducing sugar, and then once you have pipetted out the solution and the potassium ferricyanide into the test tubes, then we are going to keep the solution in a water bath for about 15 minutes. Later that, we will be adding 5% acetic acid solution for each of the test tube, and then zinc sulfate, sodium chloride and potassium iodide solution to this test tubes. Here, the potassium iodide should be added to the zinc sulfate and sodium chloride mixture when you are about to start the experiment. Therefore, don't add the potassium iodide unless you have kept the solution for heating in a water bath. Now, once you have added the zinc sulfate, sodium chloride, and potassium iodide solution, then we are going to titrate that solution using the standard sodium thiosulfate solution and a starch indicator. Now, the protocol for HJ method. It involves test tubes, 7 test tubes, which is named as test tube number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the first test tube will not be adding any glucose solution. Therefore, we'll be adding 2 ml of the water. In the second test tube, we'll be adding 0.4 ml of the glucose solution and 1.6 ml of distilled water. In the third test tube, we'll be adding 0.8 ml of glucose and 1.2 ml of distilled water. In the fourth test tube, 1.2 ml of glucose and 0.8 ml of distilled water. In the fifth test tube, 1.6 glucose solution, 0.4 ml of distilled water and 2.0 ml of glucose and no water in the sixth test tube. So glucose is nothing but reducing sugar. In the seventh test tube, you will be given the unknown solution mixed with water by your external examiner. Once you have added both glucose and water, then we will be adding about 1 ml of potassium ferricyanide solution to each of the test tubes. That is nothing but the alkaline ferricyanide solution. After that, we will be keeping all the test tubes in a water bath for about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, we'll take off the test tubes from the water bath and keep it for cooling. Then, once it is cooled, we'll be adding 1 ml of 5% acetic acid solution, and to that we'll be adding 4 ml of zinc sulfate potassium iodide sodium chloride solution. When you are about to add zinc sulfate potassium chloride potassium iodide sodium chloride solution, make sure you add 4 ml of the solution to the first test tube and then you titrate that first. Don't add all solutions of 4 ml of zinc sulfate potassium iodide sodium chloride to all the test tubes at once at a time. So you need to add one solution for each of the test tube when you are about to titrate it. For that, we'll be adding 1% of starch indicator and we'll be checking the burette reading as B for the blank test tube and for the other test tube as T value. Later, we'll be plotting the graph of B minus T values which we have obtained using the titration. And for the unknown, we'll make the point on the y-axis. Using that, we'll be calculating the amount of reducing sugar present in the given solution of 1 cm. Now for the experiment, let us make up the solution of given 10 ml reducing sugar to 100 ml standard flask using distilled water. Once you have added almost mark up solution of distilled water, then add dropwise of water in order to make up the exact 100 ml standard solution of glucose. Then close it using a stopper and shake well for uniform concentration. Once you have done that, let us mark the test tubes as 1, 2, 3, 4. For the first test tube, we'll be adding no glucose. Second test tube 0.4, 0.8, 1.2, 1.6 and 2.0 as of each of the test tubes. And for the unknown, you will be given solution by your external examiner itself along with water in it. We have prepared out 0.4 ml of solution in the second test tube, 0.8 ml of the solution in the third test tube, and so on. Fourth test tube contains 1.2 ml, fifth test tube contains 1.6, sixth test tube contains 2.0, and we have also given unknown solution. Next, we'll be adding water to it. Now, if you observe carefully, the volume of solution present in each of the test tube is equal to 2 cm cube because we have added the remaining amount of the solution using distilled water. Next, we will be adding potassium ferricyanide solution to each of the test tubes about now. Once you have added the potassium ferricyanide solution, that is alkaline potassium ferricyanide, you will be obtaining a light green color. You can clearly observe that there is no increase in intensity. There won't be such as such. Therefore, we will keep it in a water bath for about 15 minutes. After keeping it for a water bath on 15 minutes and cooling it, again we won't be observing any increase in intensity. Let us add 5% of acetic acid solution to each of the test tubes. After adding 5% of the acetic acid to each of the test tubes, now you can slightly observe there is some color changes. Now we'll start to add zinc sulfate potassium iodide sodium chloride solution to one test tube at a time while you are about to titrate the solution. For that, you need to use a microburette for the titration. If you are not having any microburette, you can use 50 ml standard burette itself, but you need to be careful while adding a dropwise amount of the solution. The end point of the titration should be just a disappearance of the blue color formed when you are added the zinc sulfate solution and the starch indicator. I have added the mixture of solution to the first test tube. Now we are about to add a drop of starch indicator to the first test tube and then titrate the solutions against the burette content. Let us add a drop of starch indicator. So if you observe, the solution has just turned blue. Shake the solution to obtain uniform blue color and let's start the titration. Titrate the solution against standard N by 40 that is 0.025 sodium thiosulfate solution to obtain the just disappearance of the blue color. When you are about to titrate, you may observe some brownish green color as we are observing in the test tube now. So this is the end point of the solution. Let us start the titration for the second test tube. We have added the zinc sulfate, potassium iodide, sodium chloride mixture for the second test tube. Let us add a drop of a starch indicator. So shake well while titrating the solution because you have to obtain a pinpoint accuracy using the titration, because the difference in titer values for each of the test tubes will be very minor. So therefore you need to be more accurate while titrating the solutions against the sodium thiosulfate solution. We have obtained the end point. So there is a disappearance of blue color. Let us add the mixture of solution for the third test tube. Let us add a drop of starch indicator. Shake well while you are about to titrate. So as you can see, we have obtained the colorless solution in the third test tube. Let us do this for each and every test tubes by adding the mixture of the solution for each test tube while we are about to titrate it, and then add a drop of a starch indicator, and let's do the titration. Now we have titrated all the 6 test tubes. Now we have to check the unknown solution. Let us add the zinc sulfate, sodium chloride and potassium iodide solution to the unknown test tube, and then we'll add starch indicator and start the titration. As you can see, we have done the 7th test tube titration. So this is about the experimental procedure and how to carry out the titration of the solution in order to obtain the amount of reducing sugar by HJ method. Let us write down the values of the solution which we have consumed to the titration volume of N by 40 sodium thiosulfate. And then if you observe, we have taken 8.7 of B value. We are going to subtract each of the test tube values from B, so obtain the B minus T value. Now let us plot the graph. If you observe the graph, we have taken the amount of glucose in milligrams on the x-axis and B minus T values on the y-axis. The scale is being 0.4 milligrams for 1 unit on the x-axis and 1 ml of B minus T value on the y-axis. Let us start to plot the graph. For 0.4 milligrams of the solution, we obtained the reading 1.3 ml. Let us mark it down. For 0.8, it was 2.9. For 1.2 milligram of glucose, the reading was 4.2. For 1.6 milligram of glucose solution, we obtained the reading 5.3. For 2.0 ml of the solution, we obtained the reading 6.7. Let us draw a straight line passing through approximately 3 or 4 points. Since we have obtained a proper values, we are going to obtain a straight line passing through almost all the points. So this can be taken as our graph of values. Now we know the unknown value, it is being 4.7. Let us draw a straight line from the x-axis. Let us draw a straight line parallel to x-axis from y-axis point 4.7 so that it touches the graph at some point, and from that particular point let us draw a straight line from that point perpendicular to x-axis to obtain the amount of reducing sugar. So this is the amount of reducing sugar present in 1 ml of the given solution. Using that value, we are going to calculate the amount of reducing sugar present in 100 cm cube of the solution.